Coming to you live from the fabulous MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a St. Clair College journalism presentation.
Hi, I'm Jolene Perrin, and you're watching MediaPlex News Now. CUPE Local 1393 and the University of Windsor reached a tentative agreement late last night. Sean Preble tells us more.
The strike by CUPE Local 1393 at the University of Windsor is close to ending after the union and the university reached a tentative agreement late Monday night. Kevin Johnson, Secretary-Treasurer for the union, said once the agreement is ratified, employees will hopefully be back to work Thursday.
So the next step for us is tomorrow we'll get a chance to sit down and see the details of the agreement. Our membership will vote on whether or not to ratify. The Board of Governors will consider the agreement. I don't think in the history of the university they've ever turned down a tentative agreement. And then once we have a finalized contract, we'll be ready to go back to work.
So the biggest issue is we haven't had labs, so now we have to compress all that time, not to mention the support staff of the Earth and Environmental Science. So like a lot of our chemical waste disposal, there's really 2 support staff, but they were so integral in setting up labs and coordinating times and stuff like that. It was very difficult to really go ahead with the school year. There were a couple of things. We went out and did field samples of a stream, and there's some things that we had to analyze ourselves, and the equipment that we used was just not nearly as good as the equipment that they can use.
After 31 days of being on strike, students, faculty, and union workers are sure to be happy the strike is almost over. Reporting for MediaPlex News Now, I'm Sean Preble.
Thanks to a funding agreement and collaboration between the city, the university, and the federal government, a new project was landed at the Windsor Airport. Mandy Matthews has the story.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to announce
the project, which has been 5 years in the planning, was announced to the public October 2nd at the Windsor International Airport. Minister Gary Goodyear of FedDev Ontario called it a cargo hub for Windsor.
And the way to do that is to create critical mass, to bring partnerships together to get all the aspects of building something that can meet the demands of the world and staying ahead of the curve. We call that a cluster or a hub.
The $19.9 million project will include 3 main buildings, including a new research facility at the University of Windsor. Mayor Eddie Francis is looking forward from the 2007 and 2008 economic downturn by committing the project to changing the economy.
The talk that dominated following those headlines and following that economic crisis was we need to diversify our economy. And most people said, well, how do we do that? This is a good example of how you diversify your economy.
FedEx will move into the new cargo hub in 2015. Minister Gary Goodyear said during the conference that this new project will create 105 jobs for Windsorites. I'm Mandy Matthews reporting for MediaPlex News Now.
The purchase of several gift cards at a local grocery store had security suspicious. Clara Muska has the story.
It was here at the Real Canadian Superstore on Walker Road that police arrested 4 people trying to buy $600 worth of gift cards. Store security were suspicious about the purchases. Turns out for good reason. The grocery store arrest led police to what they say is a credit card production lab.
As a result of that arrest, we discovered what appeared to be a credit card lab in one of the downtown hotels, which consisted of a laptop, an embossing machine, a card reader, and several cards that were embossed with credit card data, but the cards themselves were actually gift cards, like vanilla MasterCards and American Express gift cards.
The fake credit cards were being used to buy valid gift cards. Police say the investigation is still ongoing, and they're tracking where exactly the card data was stolen from. The 4 suspects in their early 20s are in custody and awaiting a court date. For MediaPlex News This Week, I'm Clara Muska.
Young patients had the opportunity to take to the skies thanks to Windsor Regional Cancer Center. Haley Trela reports.
The Canadian Historical Aircraft Association joined forces with the Windsor Regional Cancer Center to bring young patients a unique opportunity. With aircraft coming in from as far as Nova Scotia, patients and their families got tours of military aircraft and even went up in the air with Windsor pilots in civilian planes. John Robinson is the president of CH2A. He said the event is a great escape for youth.
It's aviation oriented, it's something different, and it's fun. And us, as pilots, we're big kids too. So we love anything that has to do with airplanes that gets us up in the air and gets flying too.
A flyby in the missing man formation went over the venue. Paul McCann, the organizer, explained its meaning.
It's symbolic and represents pilots who have been lost or who have fallen, either in the line of duty or in their career. And so today we wanted to extend that honor to the kids that unfortunately have passed away or who a cure was not possible.
The event was held to give everyone a chance to leave their everyday reality through this special moment they will never forget. Reporting for MediaPlex News, I'm Haley Trelo.
Now our reporter Jolene Balmer is outside on the corner of University and Victoria. How's the weather out there, Jolene?
Well, Jolene, I don't know if this is considered an Indian summer or not, but it sure is pleasant out here. Right now, the temperature is 19 degrees Celsius, and I'll be back later in the show to give you your 3-day forecast.
Rogue Comics had its 8th anniversary last week. Chris Mayu tells us more.
Rogue's Gallery celebrated its 8th anniversary with a comic book auction. The event started with a sale in the afternoon, which lasted until the time of the auction. The owner of the comic book store, CONST, put the event together.
A lady came to me and her husband had passed away, and she had some very large books that I couldn't think of a better way to sell than in an environment like this that had alcohol and an auction and a sale. And it was also an excuse for us to have a night out doing something completely different.
The event was held at Villains Bistro. COUSINEAU personally brought someone else in to be the auctioneer to avoid issues. The auctioneer for the event was Francois Jacques.
You know, I think it's great that Villains and Rogues were able to combine their efforts and put this on. I'm glad that there's talk about doing it again, and I hope that we get more lots and more people next year.
COUSINEAU said the event brought in an estimated amount of $2,000 just from the auction books. Currently, they are planning on hosting another auction at the same time next year.
Overall, the auction had a great turnout, and the owner of the comic book store, Sean COUSINEAU, plans to hold another auction at the same time next year. Reporting for MediaPlex News Now, I'm Chris Mayu.
Last week, Tim Hortons had its annual Smile Cookie campaign. I went to Tim Hortons to grab my cup of coffee and the story. Tim Hortons launched its 17th annual Smile Cookie campaign last week. What began as a single fundraiser selling cookies iced with a smiley face for just $1 in Hamilton is now spreading Canada-wide.
I'm very happy that we sponsor for the Smile Cookie at Tim Hortons, and I believe it's doing very, very well, and we enjoy helping our community.
For the first year, the campaign reached Windsor, Essex. The cookies were sold across the county from September 20th until September 29th.
I think it's a great idea. I love that the money stays local. The whole idea of helping the kids is amazing.
All of the proceeds from the Smile Cookie campaign will stay in the Windsor, Essex area, going to the Maryville Health Treatment Center. For MediaPlex News Now, I'm Jolene Perrin. Visitors to the John R. Park homestead got a taste of traditional farming. Alice Hewitt tells us more.
The cold weather didn't stop visitors from flocking to John R. Park homestead. The nearly 200-year-old farm held their first Harvest and Horses Festival. Visitors got the opportunity to witness old-fashioned life at the homestead, including blacksmith, baker, and butcher demonstrations, as well as tours of the home's gardens. Claire Renault said this is her first year volunteering at the homestead.
It's usually to support the park because we don't want it closing, that's want to raise money to help support the park and to show the history of the place.
The original homestead of John and Amelia Park also offered visitors the chance to have Victorian traditions explained. Children of all ages were also invited to listen to ghost stories in the home's attic, as well as take a leisurely pony ride. The full festival also featured ponies and horses of many different breeds for visitors to enjoy. The homestead is open throughout the rest of the year and will be holding more events in the near future. For MediaPlex News, I'm Alice Hewitt.
Are you interested in a career in journalism? This video produced by Jana Hallam takes us inside the programs at the MediaPlex.
Journalism enables people to be well informed. It's documenting history. It's an extraordinary way for people to be connected with their community.
What happens in the world affects us. What happens in our community affects us. What happens in the province affects us. And we get to be the eyes and ears and tell the stories. There are many stories that need to be told, and those things add value to our life.
I'm always meeting new people. I'm learning about things that interest me, like topics that I want to learn more about.
It's neat to know that so many people are relying on me. It makes you strive for perfection, or it makes you strive for accuracy.
The journalism program here at St. Clair College is a convergence journalism program. Convergence means the merging together of print, radio, and television, and the web, and putting all different stories into 3 or 4 different platforms.
In 21st century newsrooms, journalists have to be able to do it all.
We ask every one of our reporters to tell stories in multiple ways.
There's a different style of writing for print than there is for radio, than there is for television. And it's really important that the information gets out that is true to those platforms.
We are one of the few, if not the only, program that is actually taking students to a live broadcast and giving them that opportunity and that experience.
I've gained a lot of self-confidence. I used to be a really nervous person, a really shy person, but I think this program's helped me come out my shell. It's given me something that I love to do, and that's made me a better person.
I find that the students that come out of St. Clair College are already at or above where some of our broadcast employees have been over the last several years.
I feel that I made the greatest decision I could 2 years ago by choosing this program, because I have learned so much, and I think that I can only grow from here.
I would hands down recommend the program to someone considering it. I would recommend it to someone that's not even considering it. They teach you such a vast array of different skills, different platforms, different things that you could really apply to so many different careers.
Based on literally hundreds of interns I've seen over the years, St. Clair students are better prepared to go into the work environment in media than most students coming out of colleges and universities across North America.
I think it's that very comprehensive curriculum that we have that creates converged journalists that sets this journalism school apart.
In this edition of 5 Minutes With, Taylor Desjardins sat down with Jen Donovan, Supervisor of Student Success and Services at St. Clair College.
I'm Taylor Desjardins, and we're spending 5 minutes with Jen Donovan. Jen is the Supervisor of Student Success and Services at St. Clair College. Can you tell me a little bit about the Mentor Program and what its purpose is?
The St. Clair College Mentor Program is a new initiative this fall that we just started up, and the purpose is to try to have the first-year students have a smooth and successful transition into college life.
Okay, and who benefits from the program?
All the students at St. Clair are benefiting from the program, especially the first-year students. Second and third years are able to opt in, but mainly the first-year students are getting the most benefit from the program.
Okay, and where did the idea come from?
We started up with the idea. The vice president of the college, Patty France, thought of this great idea of having the mentor program. And we mocked it off some other colleges, and we did some research. So that's how it started up, and we got it started this summer to start in the fall. So it's a pilot program that I do believe will continue on.
Okay, and if students want to find their mentor, how would they do that?
So a student can find their mentor through the self-service. So that is a program that we use at the college. They're able to look on there. If they're having difficulty finding it there, they're welcome to stop by any of the mentor offices located at St. Clair College in the student service area. As well, they can check their St. Clair Connect account to find out who their mentor is.
Okay, and is there any utilization of social media?
Yes, we do. We started up a Facebook account. So we have Facebook, we also use Twitter, we use a ton of emails, and then of course what you're doing today.
Okay, and how many mentors are there?
We have 90 student mentors, so the student mentors include the second and third year students at St. Clair College, as well as we have 15 administrative mentors, including myself and some higher up staff at the college.
Okay, and have you received positive feedback from the students?
Absolutely. So far, I think it's been going really well. The questions that we have are great. The feedback from the students saying that they were so happy that they had someone to come to and help them. So far, I think that the program is going very well.
Okay, and what is a typical day on the job of a mentor like?
So a typical day of a student mentor, I guess I would say, is they work for a couple hours and they're responding to their mentees' emails. They're also sending out mass messages about what's going on in the college, such as bursaries or different events maybe that SRC would be putting on, as well as they're putting on workshops and study sessions to benefit the students.
Okay, and any future plans of improvement of this program as of now?
Absolutely. We're always trying to improve. The feedback from both the students, from the mentor employees is always trying to better the program. So.
I'm Taylor Desjardins, and we've just spent 5 minutes with Jen Donovan, the Supervisor of Student Success and Services at St. Clair College.
Are you ready for a challenge? In this segment, Veronica Drakowski tells us an easier way to eat healthy.
This is one way to eat fresh veggies, but local nutritionists say it may not be the best way to get the nutrients your body needs every day.
Most North Americans are not consuming anywhere near the minimum of 5 fruits and vegetables per day. So this is a very easy way to get additional fruits and veggies in just by drinking it.
That's right, drinking it. So local nutritionist Melanie Hesketh is issuing a challenge along with the owner of a local vegan gluten-free cafe. Drink 1 green smoothie every day for 30 days. What's a green smoothie?
The base is always some sort of green. It could be anything from kale, broccoli, spinach, mixed greens, parsley, cilantro, and then there's always some sort of fruit.
And she says it may decrease stress, reduce weight, and boost energy levels. Julie RABY has decided to take the challenge.
I'm very sluggish. I'm a night owl. So I find if this is going to give me a kick after I work out, keep me sustained all day long with my kids and everything, I think it's going to work, so I'm willing to try it.
Carrots and Dates owner explains why this event was so important.
So many people think they're eating healthy, think they're doing good, but they actually feel very sick. We're trying to push and motivate people that there's other ways to get better. There's other ways to increase your health benefits.
Nutritionists will check on the progress of the participants partway through. Meanwhile, registrations for the formal challenge are closed, but Melanie Hesketh says anyone can take the challenge at home. For MediaPlex News, I'm Veronica Drakowski.
Now we'll go to the weather with Jolene Balmer for the full weather forecast. How's it going out there, Jolene?
Thanks, Jolene. Did you know on this day, John Lennon released his second album, Imagine, and it was voted 80th on the top 500th of the Rolling Stone magazine Greatest Albums of the Year? Now let's look at our 3-day forecast. Tomorrow will be sunny with a high of 10 degrees Celsius and a low of 9 degrees. Thursday will also be sunny with a high of 20 degrees and a low of 7. And finally, Friday will be partly cloudy but with a high of 20 degrees and a low of 10 degrees. This is our first news broadcast of the year, so make sure to tune in every Tuesday at 6 p.m. to watch our MediaPlex News Now show. Also, you can find us here on TV Cogeco 11 every Friday. Back to you, Jolene.
Thanks, Jolene. The St. Clair Saints baseball team are aiming for an OCAA championship title after being 2012 champs. Sean Preble headed to the field to find out if the Saints are staying strong not only on the diamond, but in the classroom as well.
Fall may be underway, but the St. Clair Boys of Summer are continuing the fun into the colder months. The Saints baseball team have begun their 7th season, and with it comes a new year of challenges. Head coach Dave Cooper said after the national championship win in 2012, he's ready to challenge for another one.
We pretty much set the bar very high last year when we won the championship. We won our league, and then we went on and won the national championship. And again, I guess that's your goal coming into this year, is we want to win.
However, with the new season comes the common struggle for athletes of balancing school with their sporting activities. Matt Bassingthwaite is a third-year veteran with the team who says it's moderation that allows him to play baseball and maintain his grade.
After practice, you just go home, do your reading, do your schoolwork, make sure your teachers know you're in class and you're a student, and it works out pretty good.
Matt Sykes is a shortstop in his 2nd year with the team. He says he's enthusiastic about how the team is working together.
Yeah, there's a lot of new players. We lost 7 of our starters last year, but this year we got a whole new core, and it's just great. Like, we got a lot of players that are just well played baseball players, and they're really good, you know.
After back-to-back wins at the opener, fans are hopeful for another great season with the boys. Reporting for MediaPlex News Now, I'm Sean Prevel.
It's time to hop on your boards and lose some weight. Did you know the average Canadian can lose up to 275 calories for only an hour of skateboarding? In this week's Health Minute, Liam Higgins explains the cardiovascular advantages of skateboarding.
Looking for a healthy and fun new exercise? Believe it or not, skateboarding has proven to be a great form of cardio. According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, as long as you're pushing down the street on your trusty piece of wood, you're successfully burning calories and becoming healthier. While you push yourself around, using your legs as a guide to steer the board and to pop tricks also contributes to enhancing your strength in your lower body. And it doesn't end there. The more you skateboard, the more physical abilities you will have, helping you not only lose weight, but will cause an increase in energy. Skateboarding is not only about the cardio workout though. The strength gained in the muscles from learning new tricks and moving around on the board also increases coordination and flexibility in the body, enabling you to try and learn new things that can contribute to a more advanced and physically demanding workout. So whether you're just riding around on your board or performing radical skateboard maneuvers, remember that you're burning all those calories that you put on throughout the day. I'm Liam Higgins, and this has been your Health Minute.
The Windsor Spitfires got off to a rough start this season after their first 2 games. Players have since returned back from the NHL camps and have climbed back to playing .500 hockey. Sports reporter Evan Mathias sat down with Ty Bilkey to talk about his experience with the Edmonton Oilers.
I'm Evan Mathias, and today we will be spending 5 minutes with Windsor Spitfires forward Ty Bilkey. Ty, fresh off your first NHL camp with the Edmonton Oilers, what was that experience like for you?
Obviously it was pretty cool. I played with some guys that I grew up watching hockey, like Ryan Smith. The one day I went out for lunch with Jordan Eberle and Nugent Hopkins and Sam Gagne, and they took me out for lunch and they bought my lunch, and it was all in all a cool experience. Everything at that next level is just so professional, and everybody's there for the same reason, and it was definitely an experience of a lifetime. It was cool to get my feet into the NHL and kind of open the door for some more opportunities and have some more teams watching me now. So all in all, it was a great experience, and I can't wait to see more of it.
What do you think the biggest difference is between the NHL level and major junior hockey?
Well, definitely for me, coming into the OHL, speed was a big factor. The speed has definitely picked up, and the more systems. But definitely when you get into the NHL, everybody's in the right spot all the time. It's way faster, but at the same time, it's almost easier because you can rely on guys to be in the right spot. But definitely the speed picked up, and trying to keep up to some of those guys like Hall, he was flying out there. So it was a really cool experience, but mostly the system, the team systems, and the speed for sure.
Is there anything you learned from NHL camp that you can bring back and apply to the Windsor Spitfires?
Yeah, in some ways. I mean, there's a lot of everybody's there is everybody's together. It's all a team. Ryan Smith, Taylor Hall, Jordan Eberle, they all treated me like I was just another one of the guys, and a team first kind of attitude was definitely huge there. That's definitely one thing that I can bring back, is to get all the guys together, and that we can gel quickly and become a much stronger team as one whole unit together. I can bring that back to be a good solid unit for the whole team for sure.
So you've got the reputation of being a tough guy and a hard guy to play against on the ice, as we can see there. Was that always the case for you, playing minor hockey?
Yeah, I was always the bigger kid, whether it was fatter or taller. No, for sure, minor hockey. I mean, I never got into AAA until I was a major bantam, but for sure, I mean, I was always a bigger kid, and I always liked the physical side of hockey, and even still now, I like to hit and use my body in the corners and things like that. But for sure, the physical side and being tough to play against was always big for me.
Okay, so the Spits have struggled a bit this year to start the season. Are you guys going to be fighting for a playoff spot all year?
You know what? We have our goals as a team, and everybody's in on this team for the same reason. We're all on the same bus. We all want to make the playoffs, and our plan is that we shouldn't be fighting for a playoff spot. Our plan is that going into this is that we are going to have home ice advantage in the playoffs. And looking at the rest of the league and the players that are coming back and aren't coming back from other teams, it's you know, the door's open to go out there and win some hockey games and get a good playoff spot and make a little run at this thing and show teams what we're made of.
So you talked about some team goals. What are some personal goals that you have for this season?
You know, I definitely getting my little taste of the NHL. I definitely, you know, I'm looking to get, you know, maybe a contract out of this year or finish the year in the AHL or even get drafted at the end of the year. I'm still draft eligible, so for sure those are huge. And you know, everybody knows my reputation. I don't have very many points in the league. You know, I'm striving to get some more points. You know, between 10 and 15 points is the goal for me. And you know, I definitely want to be as I always have, be a team first player and get these young guys, get them equipped to the league and get them ready. So definitely those are some goals for me, and I'm looking forward to making some of them happen.
Thanks for joining us, Ty.
Thank you.
I'm Evan Mathias, and we just spent 5 minutes with Windsor Spitfires forward Ty Bilkey.
It's October and Halloween is fast approaching. A Sandwich area theater group is celebrating by telling local ghost stories. Michael Veras reports.
Creepy things are happening in Sandwich. On Sunday night at Mackenzie Hall, the Purple Theater Company put on a free performance of the Ghost Tour, a storytelling interactive experience that tells of local history and ghost stories, and takes place both inside and outside Mackenzie Hall. Joey Oled is the creative director of the project.
Well, it is true stories, both ghost stories that people swear are true and history. The two are always intermingled. And there's not going to be anybody jumping out at you saying boo for the most part. Mostly it is, I suppose, what they would call the old school kind of scare, where you hear about things and you go to places where things happened and just kind of soak it up.
Several attendees of all ages enjoyed the performance. Although this was a test run, Mackenzie Hall will sell tickets for repeat performances every evening between October 24th until the 28th. So if you're a fan of ghost stories, get them before they're gone. For MediaPlex News Now, I'm Michael Veras.
For most modern Windsor residents, living without electricity is difficult. A local museum is teaching visitors what life on the Sandwich frontier was like. Stacy Janzer reports.
No tweets, no cell phones, no computers, anything like that.
Local history experts say there were no modern conveniences back in 1812. Looking back on daily life a century ago can be summed up in one word: hardship.
Sort of hand to mouth under the best of circumstances. Because as I like to tell the school groups to come here, there wasn't a superstore at the time.
Windsor's Community Museum has been running a Life on the Sandwich Frontier exhibit as part of this year's Culture Days. Museum staff say it was hard to dig up any information about the black population.
It didn't list in the militia lists whether they were black or white or whatever, so it was kind of invisible.
The highlight of the exhibit, the actual flag used in a famous battle.
During the last battle where he was killed, the Battle of Moraviantown, he took it into battle with him. And it was captured by Americans after Tecumseh fell.
The exhibit is teaching history hands-on.
We encourage parents and children to come and experience down here different activities and games, you know, that existed for children to amuse themselves long before computers and video games.
Museum officials say Windsorites need to know where they came from to better understand their community today. For MediaPlex News, I'm Stacy Janzer.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jolene Perrin, and you've been watching MediaPlex News Now.